Christmas morning, I followed giant footprints in the snow because they started at my front door and ended at my bedroom window. At first, I told myself it was a prank. Some neighborhood dad with a homemade stamp, a little holiday gotcha for the kids. These prints were anything but cute or neat. They were huge, three-toed, deep enough to crack the crust of ice under the fresh powder. And the snow hadn't been touched anywhere else. No boot marks, no teary tracks. Just those giant footprints leading right to my door. Just those footprints, like something heavy had walked straight out of the dark and chosen my house first. The street was quiet, Christmas lights twinkling. A few inflatable Santas deflated sideways, like they'd passed out on the lawn. Somewhere far off, a child squealed, the sound muffled by snow and distance. I stepped onto my porch in my socks, breath turning to fog, and stared at the prints. It began at my doormat. Not the sidewalk. Right on my doormat. Like it just showed up. I should have gone back inside, locked the deadbolt, called Suan, waited for daylight to feel real again. Instead, I followed them because curiosity always feels harmless when the world looks festive. The footprints crossed my yard in a straight line, cutting through my Christmas lights like they weren't even there. My reindeer decorations leaned away from the trail as if they wanted nothing to do with it. The tracks reached my front steps, climbed them one by one, and stopped at the door. I put my hand on the handle. The metal felt warm to the touch, but not in that cozy, sun-warmed way. There was no sun yet. This was heat that belonged to something that had been touching it recently. I pulled the door open fast, like speed would protect me from whatever waited. My living room smelled like pine and cinnamon and last night's leftover cocoa. The tree glowed in the corner, perfect and harmless, and under it was a gift I didn't recognize. It wasn't wrapped in holiday paper. It wasn't shiny. It was dull, dark, and slightly wet, like the material had been pulled tight over something that didn't belong in a box. Before I tell you what I saw next, like, share, and subscribe to Bloody Chapter, because some doors only open for people who keep listening. No tag, no ribbon, just a clean rectangle sitting too close to the tree stand, so close the needles brushed against it, as if the tree was trying to hide it. I stood there, listening. The house was quiet except for the heater cycling and the faint electric hum of the lights. Then I saw something else. A single footprint inside my house, pressed into the rug near the hallway. The same three-toed shape, flattened into the fibers, leading deeper toward my bedroom. My throat tightened. The gift felt ominous. I didn't open it right away. I did the stupid thing first. Checked my phone. No neighborhood alerts. No group chats buzzing with "what is that?" I crouched by the gift, careful not to touch it. It smelled like rain and metal, like wet pennies. And I swear on my life I felt something inside move. Just a tiny, subtle shift, like a breath adjusting in sleep. I yanked my hands back, knocking an ornament off the tree. It rolled across the floor just as my phone buzzed an emergency alert. Stay inside. No lights. Sounds bring danger. Predatory animals. Celebration sounds. And just when I thought it couldn't get any weirder, another alert popped up about large animal movement. Shelter in place. Do not approach tracks. My stomach dropped as I spotted the tracks. A soft sound echoed from the hallway. A low clicking noise echoed through the quiet house, like nails tapping on wood. My heart raced as it got closer. The footprint in the rug was still there, dark in the carpet pile. But now there were more. Leading toward my bedroom door, something walked in, then out, and back in again. I held my breath, because suddenly the alert made sense in the worst way. Don't make noise. Don't flash lights. Don't celebrate. My tree lights blinked steadily. I reached toward the plug, thinking I'd unplug the whole thing. Then my front doorbell rang. One cheerful chime, then silence. My skin chilled. I froze. The doorbell rang again, longer this time, like someone was leaning on it. Outside, a group began to sing. Carols outside, but nobody sings here anymore. Not ever, as long as I've lived here. But the singing was real, right outside my door. Silent night, my living room lit by the tree, suddenly felt like a display window. like something could see me even if I couldn't see it. I stepped toward the peephole without thinking, then stopped myself. Stay away. Don't celebrate. Don't do anything that looks like attention. The singers reached the next verse. In one voice only, one fell slightly out of harmony, like a smile breaking through the song. I heard my name. Soon, not shouted. My name mixed into the carols sent panic crawling up my spine. I backed away from the door, breathing shallow, and turned toward the hallway again toward the bedroom where the prince kept multiplying. That's when I realized the gift under the tree wasn't a gift. It was bait. Or worse, a delivery. I crept closer and, with shaking hands, tore the wrapping open just enough to see inside. A small dinosaur toy stared up at me. It was cheap plastic, but here's the weird part. It felt warm, like skin. Its tiny chest rose and fell, almost imperceptibly, like it was playing dead. My mouth went dry as the reality of the situation hit me. Behind the toy, there was a thin black band with a tiny blinking light. A trecca. The toy's glossy eye caught the tree lights and reflected the room. And in that reflection, I saw something tall behind me. Nothing there. But I felt watched, just the hallway, dark and empty. But the clicking sound returned, sharper now, like something testing the floorboards with patience. If you're listening right now and you want more stories that twist the familiar into something terrifying, like, share, and subscribe to Bloody Chapter for more stories that haunt the mind long after the sound fades. Primera wa is a frozen, unsure what to do. So, I crept toward my bedroom door, each step echoing in the silence. The carolers outside kept singing, bright and steady, like they were trying to keep me calm, or keep me distracted. I reached my bedroom, hand hovering over the knob, darkness seeping through the crack. The clicking sound came from inside, slower now, like something was just waiting. I pushed the door open a few inches, my heart racing as I braced myself for whatever might be lurking in the shadows. My bedroom window was fogged up, like warm breath had pressed against it. 3 wide claw marks smeared the glass, and outside the window, in the snow, the footprints continued circling the house in a wide loop, pacing outside, hunting for any mistake. It wasn't outside. It was right there on my bedroom carpet, fresh, dark, and pressed deep into the fibers, right beside my bed and on my pillow. A tiny wet patch, like something had rested its head there. A hatchling. That's what hit me then so hard my knees almost gave out. It was a baby, not a toy. The choralers raised their volume, the harmony swelling like a wave, and behind their voices beneath the music I heard it. A low, vibrating rumble, not from a speaker or a car engine, but from something alive, something huge, and way too close enough that my window trembled in its frame. From something alive, huge, and close enough that my window trembled in its frame. The tree lights blinked faster. My phone buzzed, the letters harsh and unforgiving. If you have received an unmarked gift, do not open IT. Do not move IT. Panic set in, and I did the dumbest thing. I screamed. Suddenly, the carolers stopped singing, all at once, like a switch flipped. Silence. Windows shattered. Glass flew everywhere. A shadow filled the frame's massive head. Wet breath, and I reflecting my Christmas lights like tiny stars. And right before it lunged, the hatchling in the box answered with a small, hungry chirp. Thanks for watching. If you want more Christmas nightmares and stories that stalk you after the screen goes dark, like, share, and subscribe to Bloody Chapter End. I'll see you in the next one.